So when I was making Wrestle and Flow videos every week, there was one name that my wife constantly brought up every single time she had a suggestion. She would always say, "Why haven't you made a video, a remix for Naomi?" Which was always fascinating to me because she was someone, my wife is somebody who doesn't watch wrestling. Like, she's not a fan of professional wrestling. There would never be a day where I would come home and she has, SmackDown on or Dynamite or something. Like, it just wouldn't ever happen. So, but because of, me watching it, she fell in love with certain characters, and like there were certain people that like this was her person. Bianca was one of her favorites, but more than anyone, Naomi. That was her girl. So she would always ask, like, when are you gonna make something? And I thought about it for a long time. I think part of it, one, was the challenge of like the EDM track at the time. Not saying that I couldn't do it, it was just like, it was different than what I was doing at that time. And then two, like, I'm very calculated and very strategic with the tracks that I pick and with just with my content, you know what I mean? So I knew that it had to be the right time, the right moment. I just, for me, I always go into my content with a plan in mind. So fast forward a couple years and it finally happened. I did a track for then Naomi called Feel the Glow. It wasn't a remix. It also wasn't a theme song either. It was just kind of like something to showcase her, to show some love, to do something different and to have fun, to get back into Wrestle and Flow a little bit. It was a part of this kind of like unofficial pack of music that I put out that was dedicated to Black wrestlers in that moment that I just wanted to highlight. So it was Naomi, Mia Yim, Baron Black, and Big Swole. I had this track, I had this idea. Everyone sent it to her once it dropped. She loved it, she posted it everywhere, and it was pretty cool. It was dope. So now fast forwarding to this year, I don't even remember where I was when I got the message, but Trinity sent me a message and she said, "Hey, I'm preparing for what's next and I would love for you to be a part of my theme song." And of course, like, there's nothing for me to think about in that situation. Like, I'm saying yes. There's no consideration. I don't have to figure out anything. I'm gonna make it work. So we start kind of exchanging some ideas. And what you hear now, the track that you hear is probably version, I don't even know. We went through a bunch of different songs before we landed on that one. So she told me that she wanted people to dance. She knew that. She wanted it to be something that people would feel motivated to immediately stand up and like participate, whether it's dancing, throwing your hands up, like something that got the crowd like engaged. So we started out with this like City Girls like twerk beat, and it was crazy. It was dope. It was almost like perfect. We went from there to like Megan Thee Stallion influence, kind of through EDM again. Like, we went a bunch of different directions before we eventually landed on, what we have right now. One of the ideas that she had was to remix the track that I already made, Feel the Glow, but it was like, we had to figure out just some things to see if we could pull that off and to make that work. And I think a big part of it too was like, let's just ultimately go in a different direction. Let's just see what we can do. I think, of course, a lot of people hear that Jersey Club influence, that Uzi influence in there of just something that people want to dance to immediately. And I think it's cool that that's where we landed, because I feel like that's also her personality too, of someone who just, when you see her on the screen or when you see even just the letters and the names before she pops out, it's like, I want to be a part of this moment with you. So we had the beat picked out, and I knew based on listening to that beat that I would have to write something different and not go with the lyrics that I wrote in 2011, or not 2011, 2021. And it was cool because it gave me, obviously it's a fun challenge to do something different, but to tell a new story. But she had her influence in it as well. So she came over and we just tried a bunch of different things, playing around with the intro. She knew immediately that she wanted to spell out her name, which I think worked so well. as just getting people hyped, and it pairs up very well with the Tron and with the video of like before she even steps out, you see what's getting ready to happen, and you feel just the anticipation building, and the moment is rising before she even pops out. I think it's perfect. It's cool that a few people have figured out and pointed out the fact that like they think it's her voice that's whispering her name when the beat drops, which is completely true and also completely 100% her idea. It's just cool to see her process and to just kind of like get in her mind a little bit of like what she wants and what she envisioned, not just for the song, but for the actual physical entrance as well. There were a bunch of other ideas that we didn't even include in the final version, but I mean, anything can happen. We can drop remixes, we can do a bunch of other stuff. We can have a lot of fun with this, and I think it's just the beginning. If it's up to me and if our schedules align, there will definitely be a music video. I mean, I would love to do performances. Like, we're gonna figure out something to make this even more special than what it already is. I tell people all the time, like, I want to be someone who not just makes music for people, but who makes music with people as well. I don't want somebody's theme song to be 100% just my ideas and what I want in the song. Because there are things that she pointed out and there are things that she recommended that literally elevated the song to a different level. And if it was what I was envisioning, first of all, it wouldn't sound the way that it does right now, but it wouldn't be her. You know what I mean? Like, I want people, when I work with talent, I want them to understand that it is a collaborative process and that they are trusted with whatever they bring to the table. If something works, it works. And if it doesn't, we can continue to try to figure out something that makes everybody happy and that will ultimately be dope at the end of the process. So yeah, Trinity, if you're watching this, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this amazing, amazing, amazing moment in your career. I think, song aside, entrance aside, everyone agrees that she just deserves the best. And it's cool to see that's happening and that she's genuinely happy and excited about what is ahead of her. It's so crazy and weird when people, especially in the world of professional wrestling, where the fans try to dictate, like, what you should do and where you should go and how you should be. But to see people who genuinely are like, no, I'm going to do this my way and I'm going to make the most of my moment. And I feel like 100% she is doing that. So huge shout out to Trinity, and we're all supporting you and we're excited to see what happens from here on out. I can't say it enough. Thank you to Trinity, but also thank you to everyone who has listened to the track, who has shared it, downloaded, streamed it, added to a playlist, whatever it is. Thank you for your support of Wrestle and Flow, J Will, and for Trinity. And for Impact Wrestling too. Shout out to Impact, shout out to everyone there. It's cool to see like so many eyes on what you guys are doing, and I hope that it only continues to build from here.